So let's move to the next question, and what I'll do is let's try to do this together. Let's try to do this together. I think because it's a simple question, okay, or probably you can take a minute, right? Just look up this data and I'll look up the questions one by one. See how many Nair mixtures grinders, but then let's do it together first, and you can read the questions. You can do it together, or you can do it by yourself, right? I'll give about 60 seconds. Simple one, old cat question, right? Very nice, interesting one. Purana and Nair are two brands of kitchen mixer grinders available in the local market. Purana is an old brand that was introduced. The names itself suggest Purana should be old and Nair should be new. Introduced in 1990, while Nair was introduced in 1997. For both these brands, 20% of the mixer grinders bought. 20% of the mixer grinders bought in a particular year are disposed of as junk. Exactly 2 years later, it is known that 10 Purana mixer grinders were disposed of in 1997. The following figures show the number of Purana and Nair mixer grinders in operation from 95 to 2000, right? As at the end of the year, right? So that's the data, pretty simple graph, and you can read. You take about, let's say, 60 seconds. Okay, let's say 90 seconds. I'm guessing you guys will be able to solve the question in the given time, not just go through, right? Okay, so that's almost there. The 90 seconds. Should we start again? Okay, good. Simple question, old cat question, right? So, how many Nair mixer grinders were purchased in 1999? So, the good thing here is that the Nair just started in the year 97. That's the first year. But Purana started somewhere in the year 1990. So we don't know the data for the first 5 years. That's something to worry about in this question, right? We have no clarity on the data in the first 5 years. So let's look at the Nair data. In the year 97, right, we are talking of 30 Nair. That's the first thing. So I'll put box to represent the new, mixer grinders that were there, right? That were there in the market, 30. But then they say that 20% of them, right? 20% of them were disposed of exactly 2 years later, right? 20% of them were disposed exactly 2 years later. That means out of this 30, about we're talking of a number like 6. The 6 of them would be thrown out in the year 1999. That means from this 30 will bring down the value of 24 here, and this 24 will come down to a value of 30 here, sorry, and that will come to 24, because 6 will be thrown off after 2 years, not 1 year, it's after 2 years, right, that it becomes less, right? That means 6 will be thrown off here. Okay, so that's how the data is working for us. That's how the data is working for us. So that's 30 remains 30. Next year it becomes 24, right? Because it gets disposed, right? But then if you look at the year 98, out of the 80, we first 30 we fixed that. In the year 98, there are 80 mixer grinders in the market. Out of the 80, 30 were old. That means there were fresh ones that were purchased. It's like 50 of them, right? But out of the 50, we're talking of 20%. So 20% of 50, that would be like 10. That will be disposed, of course, but 2 years later. That means in the year 2000, right? So out of this 50, all the 50 will draw the next year. But in the next to next year, it will not remain 50. It will just become 40 of them, because 10 of them will get disposed, right? But if you look at the year 1999, we need a total 124. That's the number we are talking about. But out of that, 24 is done, 50 is done. We need something. Here, 24, 50, all that is done. We need 74 plus some number should give us 24. We're simply talking of a number called 50. The 50, 50, 24, that's 124. And this the sequence goes, right? So that means from here, from this part, okay, we had the 30, 30, 24, right? That data will remain like 24 here. Let me just rub that for a while, right? I think we'll get a little more neat, right? So that 24 will remain here pretty much. Out of the 50, this 50 was here, this 50 was here. This should become like 40, and this 50 will remain 50. But a total looks like 134. So if you add up those values, if you add up those values, with 50, 40, that is 90. 90 plus 24, that is 114. That automatically means there are 20 new ones that were purchased in the year 2000. Right? Are we making sense here? Right? I hope we are all making sense. So 6 were disposed in the year 1999 and 2000. There were 10 of them disposed. So disposed 10. Right? The 6 were disposed because of this and the 10 were disposed because of the year 1998. For 97, right, in 99 they were disposed in 20%, that's 6. At year 99 they disposed 20%, that is 10 from the year 98. Right, so that's our data. Very easy to answer the first two questions. How many Naya mixture grinders were purchased in the year 1999? Right, we can clearly see the box represents, here we represent the box to represent the new ones. Right, in 1999, what are we talking about? Right, so we just saw that data. In the year 99 they purchased 50 of them. This was 30 of them. This was 50 of them. Right, this is another 50 of them, and this is 20 of them. Right, the rest of the data we just saw. There were 6 disposed here, there were 10 disposed here. Right, so there were 50 of them were purchased in the year 99. How many Naya mixtures were disposed? So we know 6 were disposed here, 10 were disposed here. The total is 16. So that's the kind of data that we have. Now let's look at the second question, and that's intriguing. That's interesting as well. How many Purana mixer grinders were disposed of in the year 2000? Now, if you look up the data, they say that 10 Purana mixer grinders were disposed of in the year 97. 10 were disposed in the year 97. Right? 10 were disposed in the year 97. If we're talking of 10 being disposed in the year 97, so how do we map it? How do we map it? Right? 10 were disposed in the year 97. Okay? 10 were disposed in the year 97. So what are we talking about? So first, let's start with for 97, why there were 10 disposed? The 10 were disposed probably because in the year 95, there were 50 of these, right? So there were 10 disposed. That automatically means, right, that 20%. So that's the reason we came to 50, right? 20% of 50 is 10. So they were disposed in the year 97 because there were 50 new. And the old ones were 70. I'm not saying it is from the previous year. It could be from previous several years, right? But that automatically means that in this 50 would bring down a value of, 40 here, right? 40 here. In the previous year, we have a total of 162. That is between new and old. Let me put new in a box, old in a circle. The total happens to be 162. The next year, the total, right, should have been how much, right? It's not 182 because 10 was disposed. The total should have been 192, but the 10 got disposed, right? That instead of 162, it should have been 192, but 10 was disposed. That means 30 new were taken here, right? 30 new were taken here, 30 new were taken here, and then 6 of them, from this, that is 20%. In the year 1999, 6 of them were again disposed. But again for the year 1996, right, to 1998, we have absolutely no clarity on the data. We have absolutely no clarity on the data, right? This is just 222. How the split is, we don't know. How the split is, we have absolutely no clue. We have absolutely no clue on this, right? So that's how the data is. So let's see what we should do and what we should not do, right? What we should do and what we should not do. We'll just go to the next one. Right, that is here. That's in the year 1999. So in the year 1999, this 222, or the previous year, should have is becoming 236. But is it really 236? No, this number, like here, we are talking of this number should have been 192. It became 182. It became 182 for the simple reason that 10 were disposed. Likewise, it shouldn't have been 236 in the year 99. There were 6 more. So we are talking of 236 plus 6, that's equal to 242. But the number looks 236 because 6 were disposed, right? Which means that 242 is what the number we should be looking at. That means 20 new ones were added and the remaining, whatever the numbers are, they were old ones, right? They were old ones, right? That we're trying to fix in the system. That means 216 old ones that are there, right? And that's all. I think this year again 2000 we cannot do anything with it. The total is 236, and that clears the data. That clears the entire data for us, right? Okay, super good. So now let's look at how do we answer. How many Naya mixer grinders, how many Purana mixer grinders were disposed of in the year 2000? So we have absolutely no idea because all the even number years, you notice here, here and here, that's the year 96, 98 and 2000. We have absolutely no idea about what's happening, right? Question number 4, right? Question number 4, they say, how many Purana mixer grinders were purchased in the year 99. Now that's good. We know that data. That's 20 of them were purchased in the year 99. Right? That makes sense. Yeah, pretty easy data for us to work with this question. Right? So that's nice. We'll go ahead and try to solve another question. Very simple one. Right? The intriguing part will only be this. Otherwise, everything is very simple in this question. Easy to do. Right? And it's common cat. So you see, the logical part is right here. Otherwise, with the question number 3. Right? Otherwise, there's nothing much in this question. So CAT never focuses on difficult questions like I always maintain. It only focuses on little logical question or easy ones. Right? Let's move ahead to the next question. What say? All of you good? Are we doing good on this? Super. Let's move on to the next question.